growing papaya or other fruit trees from seed. If you're interested in growing trees from seed and getting a bunch of fruit trees, whether it's papaya trees, apple trees, peach trees, orange trees, got 5 soursop trees. I believe that's what they are over here. And then this video is for you. Welcome and fam, much love. Trav here. I'm going to talk you through how I'm doing it. And if you like this video, make sure to check back later in the year with updates. I'm going to fill you in on the plan and how the details are working. So first of all, why would you want to grow fruit trees? Well, before I'll say that, I'll just say it's not as hard as you think, and I'll explain with this video. It's pretty easy. Well, it depends on your situation. It depends on the excess of land you have, but you don't have to have. All you need is a spot with sun. That's all you need. Okay. Anyways, why would you want to do it? Well, there's a lot of things that I think I might do with these papaya trees. One, plant them along the roadside up here on our property so we just have more fruit. Down by the farmhouse where I live, I wouldn't mind planting some so I can just go out in the morning and harvest some papaya. This is my own side work, so I could use it as my own little side business and sell these at the farmer's market. I run farmer's markets on Saturdays, and for that I would sell like 4, well, I'll let them get bigger. I'll deal with that later, but could do that. What I really want to do though, is we'll see if this happens and make sure to check back on this, is I want to partner our organization with the city government, state government, which we have connections with, to plant these on the roadside where there used to be a bunch of trash and dump zone. The government came and cleared it out a couple months ago. And I'd like to plant papaya trees on that roadside where there used to be dumps, so we have this transformation. And the obstacle that I'm dealing with right now is who's going to be responsible for watering it. If it's me, that's fine, but I'd like the city government to pay for it at least. Or maybe there's government grant available. I don't know. I'll fill you in on the plan as that happens. How many do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 papayas transplanted, 5 soursop. And I'll show you the starter over here. Got a bunch more in the ground. They're pretty dense in. You can see there's like 30 new sprouts that happened. So the reason to do it is just if you want to make a difference in the world. I have a vision, and a lot of city governments around the United States and around the world are starting to figure this out. Like maybe instead of ornamental trees on the sidewalk, we should plant or let people plant edible trees. That will do a lot of things. It will improve, it'll do so many things. Improve health of physical and mental health, just healthier food. It will reduce carbon emissions because food doesn't need to travel as far. It will increase civic engagement, getting people involved in their local communities. And that's plenty enough reasons to want to do it. Improve our health, improve our vigor as a society, save the world. So let's plant more trees. So if you want to be part of that mission, here's how you can do it. So there's a couple steps, and you don't need all these steps. I'll reduce it to the basics. But you should have a worm bin or a compost bin. This is what we have. It used to be a horse trough, but we just changed what it was for. Start off, toss some random dirt in there, and then every day you can toss in your coffee grinds and your eggshells. You can put in little bits of paper, extra little food scraps and greens. You want to do your best to try to bury it underneath. And you come in and you give it a tiny little bit of water every day or every couple days to keep it moist, and then over time the soil transforms into, pull out some worms here. Let's get some worms to show you. Wow, look at all these worms. Look at all these worms. So many worms. And they produce vermicompost. Is it zoomed in? It looks like shit. There you go. They produce vermicompost, which is really rich soil. So we used to do this when I was a kid, my parents, but you don't necessarily, if you have you could do it inside. I understand not wanting to do it, but if you have like a veranda or like a small back porch or a small backyard or even windowsills, that's enough to get it started. The main thing is you need to have some amount of sun coming in for the plants once you plant them. The worms themselves don't really like sun that much. They want a moist environment, so you cover it. And the reason you don't want to get it too wet, especially like a lot of wetness with new food, can create maggots, which are gross and smell bad, and or a lot of flies, which you don't want. Although, I mean, you want worms, but like any sorts of bugs really will do because they'll break it down and convert it. So we got plenty of ants in there and stuff like that. So that's the basic food scraps. And then also we have pigs and sheep. You can see some of the sheep napping over here. We have some pigs over there. What's up, Lucy and the Berkshires? So every day, man, they wrecked their food tray. Every day that they don't eat everything, I'll come and scoop out their food. Same with the sheep, same with the other pigs. There used to be a pig in here, but he's no longer. As part of the duty, and then spread it into the worm bin. I got one more worm bin going on over there. That's my vehicle. What's up? And then we have so much extra stuff that I also have this compost pile, and that's happening more slowly. Oh, got an ant, a fire ant. Okay, so part of that is every morning at breakfast, because we have our own papaya trees. Someone, I'll cut up the papayas, I'll scoop out the papayas and separate them into a little yogurt cup. And then I've only been doing this for the last month or 3 weeks. Those papayas are pretty new. Bring them up here and then add them to the worm bin. And yeah, I do that with papayas, but any sort of fruits, like random fruits we have, sapodilla, chico, soursop. I've been doing it with mangoes. Mangoes, it's a little trickier because the pits are big. I've been burying the pits of good ones. I'm gonna try harder with that, but mongoose will come and dig out the pits and eat them, or birds, because if there's still flesh on them. And also, most people grow mangoes from graft, which is where you graft a branch onto a rootstock. So the genetics are all weird. If you take a mango you really like and you plant it, if it was grafted, you might not get the same mango that you planted. So I haven't been messing with mangoes quite as much for that reason. If you're not in a tropical environment though, apple trees, be Johnny Appleseed or orange, citrus, it's not that hard to do. Just collect the seeds, plant them, and water them. And then for nutrition, you could go to your local store and get some stuff. The main fertilizer that I've been using, although it's not even necessary because it's so rich, this is cow manure. So good. Yeah, it's way broken down, but this was harvested from our neighbors. Our neighbors have cows, so we go in there periodically and we take cow manure, and it's not like we need that much. I just sprinkle a little bit because it's so strong. They don't need that much. Okay, so there's a couple of different options. I've been growing them from seed in the worm bin. The disadvantage of doing that is they don't like to be transplanted. I just transplanted them and they're in danger of dying. Also, I went with smaller pots, so they will need to be transplanted at least once more into the ground, or possibly even to bigger pots. So you could start with bigger pots, and what I'm planning on doing for the next round is probably I'm going to plant them directly into the pots and maybe skip the worm bin planting, harvest the soil from the worm bin for the pots. The soil for the transplanting has been mixed with vermiculite or perlite, this white stuff. It's the reason that we mix this stuff in is because it's aerated, so it creates less density in the soil, so it's easier for the roots to travel through and to breathe, so that they don't get rotten, they don't get stuck. Yep. So from there, what did it say for a papaya tree? It's like 6 to 9 months, or 9 to 12 months to fruiting. So these are about a month old. So if all goes well, they'll be producing fruit in 8 months. 15 of these trees from the first month producing, which is a lot and not very hard because the amount of time that I spend is pretty negligible when you consider I'd be doing all this other stuff anyways. The only extra time is basically watering it a couple minutes a day. And then I transplanted them one time. And then I suppose harvesting the seeds. Like, I'm going to eat those papayas anyway, though, is the thing. So it's not very much extra time. and it's going to be a pretty cool thing to contribute to society. So I'm very excited about that. Again, this is my first batch, so I'm sure some of the stuff that I'm doing is less efficient. Like I talked about, I'm going to experiment putting them directly into pots, bigger pots, mixing with different types of soil, see what they like, and then transplant them. And I'll also update you on if we're able to partner with the government and do that project, which I really want to do. If not, then I'll sell them at the farmer's market and plant them around the farm for our own use. I'll probably want to do all three of those things, but yeah. And then resources for you as well. I have a whole book that I wrote on this sort of a thing. It's kind of artsy, and it's adventure, and it's history. It's called The Food Life. There's a link to it in the description down below somewhere. It's a nice little read, and I recommend, if you like it, get that book. It's called The Food Life. There's a link. You can search Travis Wu, The Food Life on Amazon. And then also those of you who are like, man, I want to start my own little side hustle, side business, or so that I can come out to the farm and do this, or so that I can maybe something similar. I have a little course and program and ebook and mastermind group called Automatic Side Business Playbook. There's a course, this video, and it's going to teach you how I was able to build a niche business and travel the world and land on a farm out here and start my own projects and have free time to do that with financial security and not have to stress about that, not be a broke farmer, have my own nice little car here, and how you can too. So you should check that out. There's also a link to that below. And again, make sure to check back later on, and we'll see how the papaya trees are doing. This batch, is the first one, so I'm sure we'll do it better, and I'll update you. So appreciate you, thank you, and talk to you soon. Peace.